Shalom. It's Howard Lindzon, and you are live on This Week in the Degenerate Economy. And as usual, a lot happening. We're going to start with my Degenerate Economy Index. Thanks to the Wall Street Journal this week. Free shout out. I think the degenerate economy has definitely caught on because it's just so big. The index pretty much at all-time highs, but a quiet week. A little bit of changes. I've been spending some cash. Alphabet, Google is my largest position here as it breaks out above $200. They're hitting on all cylinders. Bit of a pullback in Zinn or Philip Morris. And I think what you should keep an eye on, I've been adding to Dutch Brothers, working up the right side of a base, good earnings. Not really a coffee place, more like a, my God, I think I'm going to have a heart attack because I had so much sugar place. So I can't say I'm a customer, but it looks like everybody else in Phoenix is a customer. And as I mentioned last week, I added Affirm. So that's the Degenerate Economy Index. Let's move on to some things happening in the world today that are really driving the degenerate economy. I really highly recommend people watching this interview if you're into crypto. The most fascinating thing about this Brian Armstrong story, and I say this as a founder myself, is he's a lunatic. First of all, the smartest guy at Coinbase was his co-founder who left, who can kind of, I mean, he doesn't live in anonymity, but doesn't have to run a financial business. Brian's like literally got the hardest job in the world for a billionaire, which is probably full security, dealing with the customer nightmares and having to push forward in a very competitive, global, brutal space. Most important thing he talked about to me was prediction markets. And here he is saying the prediction markets are a top 3 use case on the podcast. So here's where we're at. Stable coins, no doubt a layer and probably the best use case for crypto. Trading, I think he's talking about that as maybe the second best case. And those are 2 very massive use cases, right? For a decade, people have been thinking about games and wallets and all these other things. To me, it's going to come down to Google and Apple and Coinbase and Robinhood and a few others that have the wallet. But prediction markets. Why? Why am I bullish on prediction markets? It is because I didn't see it coming, as I said over the last few weeks. And second is change purse, crypto, meme coins. These are the change purse, a global change purse of the next generation. And peer-to-peer betting and fantasy betting and pool betting is going to happen a lot around prediction markets and small bets. And that's going to happen with coins. So again, I think it's one of the hugest, biggest non-straight line to get there. But we have a government that just allowed this to catch on. Okay, next. Really more of a fun story because it's happening is Chipotle and Zipline. This is an amazing company, Zipline. Probably started in the 2008, 2009. I know this because I'm a lucky indirect investor through a fund, David Cohen's fund. I just received a distribution. Shout out David Cohen. But Zipline, which has pivoted a few times and has become one of the largest drone delivery companies, is teamed up with Chipotle. They are delivering a poop because, might as well just show the kid in the toilet 2 hours later and someone from Zipline having a laugh. But Chipotle's coming to your picnic, coming to your house. If that isn't a degenerate economy, I mean, I don't know what that is. That's like out Grubhubbing Grubhub, outdoor dashing DoorDash. So just when you think you're safe, you're going to have to start looking up. Okay, and then obviously this week, Nvidia earnings, grab your favorite meme. I own some Nvidia. I mostly own it through indexing. If you own an index, 7 to 10% of your portfolio is already in Nvidia. So I have no idea what's going to happen today. But I think what's really important is we did a Nvidia poll on Stocktwits, and we've had a record number of people do the price prediction game. I'm not sure what I expect. I just think the numbers will be good and demand remains high. The other thing working for Nvidia is our customers can afford to pay them. And then finally, just not so much about the degenerate economy other than we'll be covering a lot of everything that I talk about here weekly with about half the show because it's such a big part of Stocktwits and the future of investing. We change lives. Stocktoberfest on October 20th to the 22nd on Coronado. It's probably our 14th show. It went away for a few years during COVID. I brought it back last year. Usually about 400 or 500 people on the island congregating to talk about stocks, markets, crypto. Incredible guests this year. There'll be people from Robinhood, Coinbase, the prediction markets, public company CEOs, and obviously great traders and investors, helping people position for the next few years. And then obviously networking. In this clip, Ryan Dietrich was kind of out of work, came to the event, networked his way. We kind of paid for him to come to the event, came out, took a chance and became head of research at LPL, and now is working at Carson Group at a big, $20+ billion RIA, paying it forward. So Stocktoberfest.stocktwits.com. Come on out. All right, everybody, have a great week, and we'll be back next week.